Well, that might just present a problem that I can't really solve. Alright. Let's go to the B road, and hopefully they haven't closed that as well. It's going to take a little bit more than a closed road to stop me getting to camp. I don't know whether that means that the logging's going to move closer into camp, or what's going to happen, or all that sort of stuff. So we'll just keep pushing on as if nothing has changed. Anyway, I'll turn the camera in. I've just got to camp, and you'll see it as I'm seeing it for the first time after 3 weeks of not being here. Here you go. Alright, well, all looks good. From what I can tell, I was going to say no one's been here, but I'll have to check the camera footage. I'm pretty sure I stacked the wood neater than that, and I think it was right up to the top. Oh yeah, wood's been knocked over there. Okay, so something's gone. There's been no fire burnt. That's interesting. Something has gone digging through my wood pile, looking for bugs. Yeah, no, that was stacked up quite neatly. Huh. Wow. Okay, so we've had a visitor. Not a human visitor, but a visitor nonetheless. Fireplace is obviously still standing, looking resplendent, nice and solid. No issues there whatsoever. And lamps are still here. That's the main thing. That is the key feature, the lamps. Alright, well, I'm going to organise myself. I've still obviously got to go back up to the car and get my other bag, get some water, and we'll make a start on this 2-day visit. Welcome back to my channel, the least technically advanced, least knowledgeable, least educational, slightly entertaining bushcraft channel on all of YouTube. My name is Alex, this is Alex Does. We're back at the site. I've already shown you the site. Yeah, so as I said, let me get on. I'll drop my bag down, and I'm going to have to go up to the car, get my second bag, and we'll kick off these 2 days, get some work done. Time for all the standard domestic duties, and then we'll get things started, eh? Alright, you know how the drill goes. Water next. fireplace is looking okay. As I've talked about before, plenty of cracks in there, which is totally expected. I mean, just look at the materials we're working with. It's still looking relatively solid. The big concern now as I look at it in my mind is that, is it possible that, I mean, we're not dealing with concrete, like I totally get it, and we're not dealing with really nice clay, it's just random clay sand mixture content. Yeah, I'm just thinking, as you saw just there before, that the bottom layer is quite wet. It may get to a point where I feel like I have to fire along the bottom there. But I have had thoughts of doing some sort of drainage channel through there that's kind of lined with rocks that would protect it. I don't know, again, we're thinking way into the future. My concern really as I look at that is that the mixture in the clay and the way I'm doing it at the moment seems to be holding so far, and like it does seem like there's cracks, but when you look at it, like they're really, they're not moving, they're really solid. If you gave it a kick, it'd probably come apart. But I'm just wondering now if, even though it's holding okay now, is the holding capacity of that structure going to be sufficient to continue holding the weight as it goes up? I mean, there's a lot of weight's taken by the rock. The clay's only really there to fill the air gaps between the rocks, so it's kind of like a supported rock pile. So it might be okay. I might be worrying about nothing. I mean, look, I'm not really worrying. I'm totally, as with any project I ever do, failure is 100% an option. You know, if you're not failing in life, you're not trying hard enough. It means I must try really hard, actually. Anyway, let's move on. So today, obviously, day one, it's fireplace building day. I do not have enough rocks to probably do one row of rocks. I'd like to do at least two. I might be bold and daring enough to do 3 rows of rocks today if, you know, time permitting. It's pretty late today. We're already after, it's around about midday now. So, yeah, we'll see how we go, see how many rocks I can get, see how much clay I can make before, because obviously it's getting later. I need to stop saying obviously. I say obviously a lot. I don't know if you've obviously noticed that, but I've obviously noticed that I obviously and not obviously. I need to stop saying obviously. Maybe everything isn't obvious. It's obvious to me because I'm here, but you're the viewer. Maybe it's not obvious. I don't know where my mind is at today. All right. I need to, anyway, let's just, I've got to go and get some rocks. You know how that goes. I'm going to get some rocks. Obviously. Little cutie. okay. 2 rows is fine. It's a bit more progress. I'm a bit how I feel about it. I try to end up with a fairly flat surface, but when you're using bigger rocks, as I did on those 2 compared to some of the lower courses of rock, you don't have a lot of choice. But then I think sometimes when you get big jaggedy bits like this, it might help with the structure, because then it gives me a space for the next row of rocks to kind of key into those. I guess, I don't know, I'm just trying to justify myself. Again, with these rocks, I'm trying to get bits of rock that are overhanging at the back here that will help me taper in the back, or bring the back in a little bit more. As it is already, you can see it's a lot deeper down below than it is up here. And just for interest, if you want to know how high we are, I do have a tape measure at the back. Let's have a look. So that gets us to a height of 710. So 710 mil. So we're almost 3/4 of the way to almost 3/4 of the way to 1 metre deep. That's all right. Probably a bit taller there. Right on 750 at that spot. So we're getting there. But I mean, you know, when you consider that I've got to go up to, well, the top of the roof line really from there is 2 metres. So 2 metres, 750. So that's that 1.25 metres to go. So we're almost at halfway. Right, so what next? I guess get a fire going and start drying that clay out and think about some food, I guess. While we're waiting for those the fire now to obviously build up a decent bed of coals, I was just thinking I could probably do with like a spatula to help me cook dinner. I'm doing just a fairly basic dinner today, like a just, they're not steaks, you know, like sizzle steaks, the thin ones, but kangaroo sizzle steaks. I'm just putting those on a bread roll with some stuff. That should be easy, but I'm going to fry up some onions to go on it, and well, it might be good just a bit of a quick bushcraft project, just to just grab myself a bit of wood out of the old wood pile there, and I thought I could do with a spatula just to do me onions. So just gonna carve myself up a spatula. What do you reckon? That should be good, eh? Bit of a bushcraft project. Oh, what do you reckon? It's not as good as one you'd buy in a shop, but should do the job. Beautiful. Nice one. Pretty happy with that. Now, I just wanted to address a couple of comments that have been along the way about the fireplace from viewers, and as I've always said, I 100% totally appreciate the comments. I can't recall ever having a negative comment ever. They've all been, you know, complimentary, or complimentary, or making suggestions and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, look, there's been a couple of comments that have making suggestions that have been really, really good, actually. that I did respond to, but I thought I'll discuss. So and forgive me for, I'm not going to mention who made the comments. Those who made the comments I'm referring to will know who they are, and I've already responded, and they know that I appreciate their comments. So please keep them coming. One comment was, did I consider putting like breather holes at the bottom of the fireplace going to the outside to suck in fresh air to build up the fire? Yes, 100% I did give that consideration. The reason why I didn't do that is there's probably a couple of reasons. There's probably some truth to the fact that when it comes to me actually starting and doing the first couple of layers, it just wasn't in my mind, and I didn't think to do it. It may have been a good idea. The reasons, when I was giving it some consideration in planning for the fireplace, the reason why I didn't do it was I'm kind of, even though it's kind of pissing in the wind in a way, I'd like the idea of kind of almost insect proofing and spider proofing the place, and I thought, holes down at ground level to suck air in is just gonna be an avenue for spiders and leeches and ants and stuff to come in through the fireplace, and they'd probably end up blocking it up anyway. And the second thing is, I figured very quickly they'll probably get blocked up with ash and charcoal and all that sort of stuff, because, you know, unless I'm constantly cleaning it out and then cleaning those holes out. That's really why I decided not to do it before I started. Whether it would have been better or not, I don't know. It logically, thinking about it, yeah, it would be great to have some fresh air being sucked into the base of the fire, but then at the end of the day, the front of the fireplace is open. So once the chimney's all done and everything, don't forget you've got hot air rising up through the chimney, which is going to create a natural draft through the opening of the fireplace anyway, even though the opening's going to come all the way up to about so big. Other comments. Someone mentioned a great one, which was, had I considered inserting permanently a grill into here? No, not in the. I hadn't actually, and it does sound like a really good idea. The reason, what I am planning, I was always planning to do, is imagine if the mantelpiece is about so high. I'm thinking maybe 6 inches below that. I'm thinking of putting 2 or 3, probably stainless steel tubes across there, more to act as pot hangers that I can hang things off, and then maybe I could use it as a warming rack or even as a smoker or something like that. And steel or anything would obviously, or iron would rust away, so I'll probably do it either in aluminium or stainless. But yeah, it'd be nice to have a system where I could, you know, there was provision to maybe have a removable grill that slid in about that high. That'd be really, really good. And I suppose anything's possible. I can always make modifications to it later on. That's not an issue. So that, I don't know, we might look at that, because it's a pain sort of getting a grill to sit in a fireplace unless you've got something to sit it on. So I don't know. So there's, watch this space. I don't know. I haven't figured that one out yet. We'll figure it out as we go along. But yeah, definitely a great idea, that one. Adding ash to the clay. I had given that consideration. I mentioned this in the comment, in my reply to that comment. I considered that initially based on, I've seen a couple of YouTubers recreating Roman concrete, and Roman concrete at some point they realized it would, and Roman concrete basically, it's very similar, it's very similar to modern day cement in that it's a lime based, and I think cement, and I think they were getting their lime, some from limestone, but I think they were also using, correct me if I'm wrong, seashells from memory. And they realized at some point that if you put volcanic ash in with the mix, it made it a lot stronger. I don't know if the same applies adding wood ash to clay, whether it will have the same effect. It might not. It might be worth, maybe I'd like to one day maybe just do a couple of lumps of clay, one with ash, one without ash, fire them and see which one is stronger. That'd be a cool experiment. But I think the amount of ash I would need to do the whole thing, I mean, you look at how much mud I'm mixing up each time is a fair bit, you know, sort of 3 buckets loads does be just 2 courses. Now I've had tons of fires in this since I've been starting, and really there's bugger all ash in there, so I'd have to burn through so much wood, I think, to get sufficient ash to make a difference. But still, it's something worth considering, I think, on that one. It's just an unknown. So anyway, I just thought I'd address those things. I think that's all. That there might have been one other. I think that's all I wanted to cover. I'm not going to talk about how I'm going to do the mantelpiece yet. I've got an idea on how I'm going to do it. I know what I want to use, but just in case it doesn't work, we'll get, you know, there's got to be some surprises in this series. You know, every video is pretty much the same. Me coming hauling rock, me coming building this, me coming doing weaving walls or whatever. I don't know, but you know, you're going to need some surprises. So yeah. Anyway, I'll start cooking shortly. That'll do. Alright, they're about as done as I want. Still a little bit of juice and blood and a bit of redness. You don't want to overdo kangaroo, so they can just sit up there. That'll do. We'll put this bad boy together. What have we got? First up, I've got some Australian. This is tomato chutney. I don't think it's bush tomato, unfortunately, which would have been good, but it's nice. It's a little bit sweet. Got a little bit of kick to it. Chuck that on there. There we go. I want to leave enough for a second one. There we go. Beautiful. Right. Some rocket. Slice of cheese. We've gone with Swiss cheese today. I thought it might just be a little bit sweeter. There we go. What else have we got? Tomato. And put the meat on. That's it. Pretty simple. Yum. Look at that. It looks just like it is on the menu. Yum. Mmm. Oh, that's good. Bloody delicious. Not bad at all. Alright. I'm going to smash this down. And, yeah, I'll bring you back when I'm done. Alright folks, it's an hour or so later and I'm sure you can't see me here because it has become quite dark already. This time of year the sun ducked down behind the trees at 3:30 p.m. So it gets dark pretty quickly. It's now just about 5, almost a couple of minutes off 5 o'clock. You may or may not be able to see that I have my tent set up at this kind of inconvenient angle because with all the weaving now it's about the only way that it can fit in. I'm really looking forward to getting a bed made, but I don't want to make a bed until I've done the mud on the walls, if you can see me. But anyway, we obviously have come to a rather auspicious, I don't know if auspicious is a word, but quite an official point of the event of this evening. You know what time it is. It's time to light the lanterns. Ah! Right, let's get them lit. There we go. Lanterns lit. We're safe for this evening, for the night. And of course that does mean we are into the realms of real bushcraft because we have our lanterns going. So anyway, I'm going to bring this video to an end. I'm preparing for a chilly night. I think it is getting started. We're dipping into single digits now for the first time in the year. And it's the first time June. No, we're not in June. Where are we? April. It's the first time with me camping this late in, where are we? Autumn. Faffing on. Alright, anyway, the point I'm trying to make is it's getting cold. It's going to get colder. Anyway, thank you for coming along for another video. I hope you enjoyed the content. It's certainly nice to see some progress on the fireplace, and I hope you enjoyed that too. If you're new to my channel and you think you like this content, please hit subscribe, hit the bell for notification, smash that likes up button, smash that thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't seen the previous videos in this series, go back and maybe if I can figure out how to put a link to the series, go and watch everything right from the beginning and see how I went from having no idea where I was going to build anything to discovering this small clearing in the forest to now what I'm standing under, probably halfway through the process of building this shelter, which is a little bit more than a shelter, more, let's face it, it's a hut. It's a hut. Thanks for coming. See ya.